If I were to describe Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in 3 words, those words would be sad yet hopeful. And I'll explain more as we go further into the video. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Raptor Josh channel. I have recently watched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and bro, what a movie. This is exactly what the MCU needed right now. A good movie that didn't have many faults, if at all. So obviously guys, we're entering spoilers galore here, so if you haven't watched the movie, I highly recommend you do. But today we are diving in all the spoilers, and if you haven't watched it, highly recommend it. Go watch it, come back to this video, give it a watch. Let's do this. Okay, so the plot of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. The gang have to infiltrate the high evolutionary ship in order to gain access to a specific code relating to Rocket in order to cure him. Rocket gets injured when Adam Warlock attacks the Guardian on Nowhere, their new HQ, at the beginning of the film. And the whole movie is centered around this plot about the gang learning more about Rocket's backstory as the film goes on, and Rocket getting into more and serious danger. The story is also interconnected through Rocket, who he's in sort of a coma, and he's having like flashbacks of his past life. So when he was first being experimented on by the high evolutionary, the friends he made, Lila, Teefs, and Floor, and it's amazing. That's the first thing I want to dive into. Rocket's backstory. It is incredibly sad, that is. His backstory, and if you rewatch all the Guardians of the Galaxy movies with this in mind, that Rocket is the secret protagonist of the films, not Peter, it puts the movies in a whole different perspective, and it just goes to show how good James Gunn is at formulating a story. And Rocket was the main character this entire time, and he can be viewed that way in the past movies as well, even though it may not seem like it at first. Trust me, go give those previous movies a watch with this thought in mind, that Rocket is the secret main protagonist. So Rocket's backstory is a very sad thing to watch on screen. It's because as humans, we are all drawn to animals and their cuteness, right? And Rocket as a baby was very cute. He's shown to be very cute in the film, and he's getting experimented on, sometimes hit. He's just trying to please his maker, the high evolutionary, and he's trying his best, and he still gets tortured and experimented on, and it's so sad to see, but also makes the villain of the high evolutionary so hated in the film. That leads me on to my next point. The high evolutionary, portrayed by Chukwudi Inuji. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. He was a villain that was actually a villain. You know what I mean? So in the previous films, let's say Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, we had Namor. Namor was a villain, yes, but there was reasons that he could not be. He was sort of an anti-hero, and all the recent Marvel movies are sort of leaning into that more and more, and I'm not too big of a fan. Sure, sometimes it's done right, you know, but same with Gore the God Butcher in Thor: Love and Thunder. He's meant to be a villain. However, in the movie, he was portrayed, oh, this guy, he has his reasons, you know. We do not want that. We want a villain who is actually a villain, who will go to any means necessary to get his plan, make his plan successful. And that's exactly what we see in the movie. The high evolutionary does not care at all other than his goals. He's a perfectionist in the most tragic yet brilliant way, and the way Chukwudi Inuji portrayed this character was just amazing to see. His acting was incredible, and his character development throughout the movie was just breathtaking. Very good villain. Another point I want to raise is Gamora. Obviously, this Gamora hasn't got the memories from the Guardians of the Galaxy and Guardians of the Galaxy 2. She was reintroduced in Endgame. She is a past version of Gamora that has no memories of the Guardians. So she is in this movie with the Ravagers, and she's just sort of trying to make her way through life, you know, just by completing these jobs with the Ravagers. And I like that this movie didn't go with that. It's a common trope. I can't really name, but if you watch the movie, you'll understand. Gamora didn't magically just remember everything that the Guardians did together. At the end of the movie, she just goes back to being a Ravager. However, there is a new bond formed with Quill and Gamora and the other Guardians. So it's such a breath of fresh air, because she didn't just magically remembered him and they fell back in love and that's it. Ooh, the Guardians are back together. No, I felt so refreshing to see that, and props to James Gunn for just not falling into that same basic plot lines that other movies have fallen into. You know, props to James Gunn. As we get to the ending, right, nobody died at the end. Now this was a big thing. I'm pretty sure everyone on YouTube making videos about this, who's gonna die, you know? No one died. Obviously you had Aisha, the sovereign queen, she died, but who really cares about that one? It wasn't really that much of a hard-hitting death. That doesn't mean that they're still the Guardians, okay? They have all split up, they're going their separate ways. So Peter, Star-Lord, he went back to Earth to visit his grandpa, who obviously he left after his mum died on Earth and after he was captured by Yondu. So he went back to Earth to spend time with his grandpa, and I think that's what his character needed. He needed some stability. Obviously, he's just been hopping from planet to planet in space, living all these rambunctious adventures. So I think that's what Peter needs right now, just a little bit of stability. Gamora obviously went back to the Ravagers, but this time with a new bond formed with the other Guardians, which was just lovely to see. And that she didn't just really like magically remember everything the Guardians had done together. Now Drax, Nebula, Rocket and Groot, they are forming the new society on Nowhere after saving other test subjects from the High Evolutionary ship, and they're just creating a new society, and Rocket is the new captain of the new Guardians of the Galaxy. And Mantis, she is going on a solo adventure. She basically, her reasoning was that she has been living her life for first Peter's dad, and then obviously for the Guardians, and now she just wants to live for herself. She wants to do things for herself, and fair play to her, you know. Go do your solo adventures. I'd love to catch up with her long way into the future, though. I think Marvel should leave these characters alone for just maybe until the big Avengers movies, maybe then bring them back if the feeling and the vibe is right about it. But can I just say, the ending of this movie was, see, I expected it to be really sad and like, oh no, I don't want them to split up, but James Gunn presented it in such a way that it was very hopeful that this is not the end, really. Sure, it's the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy as we know them right now, but it's a very hopeful ending in the sense that we are going to see them in a new light perhaps in the future. And it's such a satisfying ending as well, that Peter faced all his past traumas, Rocket's faced all his past traumas, and those were the two protagonists, obviously. Yeah, it's just such a satisfying ending, and such a pure ending as well. I just love it, love it, love it. The people who went to early screenings of the film weren't shown any post-credit scenes, but obviously I got to saw them. So the first post-credit scene was Rocket and Groot with the new Guardian. So it was Kraglin, Cosmo the Space Dog and Adam Warlock, and they're on this planet just sort of talking about music and just vibing, while the people of the town are just like running for their lives because these creatures are coming. And the post-credit scene basically ends with them charging down these creatures about to fight them, and then it cuts and then more credits play. That's what I mean, the ending was so hopeful, because it just means it's not the end for these characters. We can still see them at a later date when the time is right. And the second post-credit scene was just a simple one. It was Quill eating cereal with his grandpa on Earth. After that plays, white screen, text on it, the legendary Star-Lord will return. The color white obviously used is a pure sign of purity. It's also a sign of a new beginning for the characters. Boom. What a movie, guys. I highly recommend you watch Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Wow. I'm so happy that, you know, this is going to be the last Marvel movie I think James Gunn will do. Obviously, he's going to DC to head the whole of DC now. Bro, well done, James Gunn. Bro, if you guys seen the movie, let me know what you think of the movie down below. And if you haven't already, check out my reactions to the trailers and my predictions for this movie. See what I got right about it, see what I didn't. And guys, thank you as always, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.